Have I ever told you about my friend in the observatory? He was a curious fellow. Observant, yes, but also inclined to tinker. My friend could never stand having complimentary things apart. Even when they were light years away from him, he just had to put them together immediately. Oh, and he meticulously kept his journal. Sometimes I would wonder if it was doing the thinking for him. The common theme to his prose was finding connections between things, getting at what makes them tick, no matter how alien they were to begin with. He was that kind of a man who needed to take a picture of almost everything. Ugh, silly creatures, those humans. Leaky memories. He put the photograph into the journal. There was a perfect place just for it. Pulled the big old zoom lever, as there was much more to see. The ice planet. A gyroscopic lattice of slipperiness. In all the cosmic pantheon, you won't find a cooler place to hang out. You should have seen him bank and bob around those loops. A crazy kamikaze. The little hellion was out cruising for trouble, looking to stumble into a rumble. 1-on-1. It's looking like a surf and turf war was on the menu. But the scene was missing one more prowler. Ugh, graffiti. The wallpaper of social deviance. Was that howling sound the chilly draft of an open window? Even their environmental habits were criminal. Look! A flying fish! These prawn punks seemed not to know the use of fear. My friend began to feel as if he were abetting a break and enter. Such honor among thieves! The shrimp hoodlums were clearly building an arena to duel on, like gladiators. What? Where were the chains, and the knives, and the rusty pipes? My friend's dreams of a back alley brawl have dissipated like bubbles in a hot spring. These crustacean delinquents were merely intent to stew in their own juices in some sort of shrimp cocktail. The Tech Planet. The mechanical polyhedron suggests intelligence, but the oversized antenna implies intelligence gathering. The sky rats of space, secretive squeakers who lurk in the dark, listening in on everything. hovering spy drone has been downed. Yeah, of course. Big Brother is only here to help. It's opening its mandibles? It's not a planet, it's a big safe deposit box. My friend was careful not to say anything incriminating. This space has been bugged. Who keeps their secrets locked behind such cryptic mechanisms? Someone with sinister intent, that's who. These fluttering spies are no doubt the central cog in an industrial espionage ring. I can't read squiggle. What manner of rumors are they dealing in? These mongers of mystery seem to feed off the information they receive. It's a living, I suppose. listening to half-whispers from across the galaxy, absorbing the most nutritious ones, and then relaying the information to I know not whom. Who will listen to the listeners, I ask? Just to keep them honest. What was that sound? A roaring avalanche? An oil-dried engine? Ah, it's just a groggy carnivore, a little disoriented after a few centuries of slumber. My friend might be reminded of the fondue fishing flamingo of Flamicula, now extinct. Observe the prowess of the predator as he playfully pounces a firestar. Razzlepuff! It got away! Or did it? Why do prey always flee when they see you coming? Some hunters need more practice to hone their reflexes. Swipe. I wouldn't be ashamed of such a catch myself. The hot-headed hunter hastens hunger, as my grandfather always used to say. The poor predator moped about, the chill of hunger gnawing at his insides. Don't be fooled by that shiny trickle. The heat would burn your paw. lava fish. A bit spicy for my tastes, unless you have a moon crater full of cream to wash it down. Amateur mistake of predation, attaching a firecracker to one's tail. If only the beast had taken a week of my survival coaching. What can I say? When you're a predator made of cosmic fire, you don't have to be smart. Things go your way just because of your pedigree. The Coral Planet, a spongy rock girded by a ring of water. Rumor has it that its two inhabitants have not been on speaking terms since the reef was knee-high to Apollo. A little bird struggled with the Sisyphean task of weaving slippery cosmic strings into a nest. A grizzled prospector was panning for sparkly treasure. He worked his claws to the bone and then kept on working until they were worn right through with toil. My friend was duly cautious around the coral, for it had both the jagged beauty and tactile acuteness of a forest of broken glass. Poor homeless wretch. He's worked the meat right off his bones to no avail. The thread went deep inside the hole to become lost in an even more intricate system of perforations. The two inhabitants of this planet have lived apart so long they can't even recollect what it was they were fighting about. All they remember is that one called the other crabby and the other called the first one foul. My friend's sewing skills were put to the test, and oh, how he did sew. He sewed like the wind itself. A peace offering threads its way through their hollow feud. All that glitters is not gold, but that hardly means all that glitters has no value. Water raced around the planet in a state of orbital flux. At least that's my current theory. Water raced around the planet in a state of orbital flux. At least that's my current theory. Fighting the orbital current was all good fun, but making things achieve escape velocity was a real sport. A single twig breaks, but the bundle of twigs is strong. And the bird earned his bed by the sweat of his brow. And behold, it was good, and he rested. At last the symbionts can make sweet music together. Who says we can't bridge the gulfs that divide us and live together in harmony? The Crystal Planet, a mysterious space shard known only from the whispered ramblings of the miserable souls who have managed to escape. In his fascination with the unknown, my friend traveled too far into the darkness. Heed the warning of the wise and don't follow in his reckless footsteps. The hair-raising phenomena of cosmic magnetism. My friend was unwittingly dabbling in the dark arts. The naive little firefly put its nose into the crystal, quite ignorant of what was awaiting her within. My friend paused to reflect. And then there was light. The crystal image never tells the truth, but rather twists and distorts it in devious ways. It is truly untruthful. As an astronomer, my friend thought he knew everything about lenses. Knowing how to look is quite different from being prepared to handle what you might see. The completed image of horror was so sharp it could cut through space itself. My friend First saw through the glass darkly, but then, face to face, met my old chum, Julian. Wasn't he a treasure? What lies inside but the secret fears you barely knew you harbored? Those creeping shadows that stalk the edge of vision, only to recoil when you turn to look, like spiders in the torchlight. The Tree Planet. A desertified lump of sand and dry rot with only a tenuous claim to life. Bunny sprouts were resting their heads on the dusty, dried beds. Old Mother Tree's biological clock struck autumn. Her roots had taken on a worrying reddish tinge. Water, water in the air, but never a drop to drink. A rare sorrow spider mopes onto the sea, dangling by a thread of melancholy. The scavengers of decay were already churning in the darkness. An infectious rot had spread through the roots, causing them to wither. Razzlebuff! These worms made excellent doctors as they sucked all the putridness from the wound. So different from the last time I got worms. That's one small sip for the tree, one giant leap for the planet's hydrological system. As Old Mother Tree spread her arms in thankfulness, the deluge came pouring down onto the thirsty ground. Why do all these flowers have mouths? Is it to spread gossip across the lake? The tiny flower boat was gathering the seeds. Was it for food, or fun, or fermentation? My friend was curious to find out. Such glee was never seen before on a mode of transport, but this boat was on a mission of life itself. Was it an oil can? A bilge spout? A space habitat for astronauts? Careful, their cuteness might be contagious. Old Mother Tree has had many seasons to dwell on the ironies of life. Not least how she has outgrown her habitat in the course of her long life. And yet, even with such obvious sails, she was never meant to glide through the ocean of stars. My friend attached the last symbol to the planetarium. He wondered if there was something that the symbols would reveal to him when combined together that they couldn't when they were apart. A mouthful of whispers from a distant friend. Such an inviting image. What could it be pointing to? Greetings! You have come far in your explorations. Your patience and inquisitiveness have earned you many discoveries. But to what end, I wonder? The cosmos is full of such existential questions, of course. Who are we? Why are we here? Can one successfully pounce on a comet's tail? All matters for urgent inquiry. But these questions make little sense when isolated from the one who asks. I invite you to return to your journal once more, to reflect upon that which you truly mean to ask. Indeed. I wonder. My friend, you have so very much to learn, and sadly not much time to learn it. The sand drips through the glass like stars through the lens of a telescope. You are lit upon the path to wisdom, but you must walk faster than is maybe prudent, for there are phenomena now unleashed that dim the rays of hope until they are just a speck of starlight in the blackness. But fear not, for you now have at hand a means of magnifying that light beyond its modest proportions, an instrument of incomparable utility and dashing intelligence. My friend, you now have me. Of course, that was only the beginning of our partnership, the astronomer and me, but our further exploits in the realms of knowledge are another story entirely. As old Mr. Whiskers used to say, one feast at a time,